Hello and welcome everyone. This is Kashish Ahuja from IIPS DAVV pursuing Integrated MTech IT currently in 8th semester. This video is a part of my information security assignment which contains end semester solutions. Question 1. Create a visual representation of the differences between internet and the web. To create a visual representation of the differences between internet and web, we can use the following diagram. This diagram shows the components that are in the internet and the components that are in the web and their common components as well. The internet is a global network of interconnected computers and devices that communicate with each other through standard protocols such as TCP/IP. It includes various types of networks such as LAN, WAN, and the World Wide Web. The web is a collection of interconnected documents and resources which are accessed using the HTTP protocol over the internet. It includes various types of content such as text, images, videos, and audio files. Question number 1 B part. What ethical concerns are associated with using the invisible web for data mining and surveillance purpose? Answer. The invisible web refers to the vast amount of content on the internet that cannot be accessed through standard search engines. This includes content that is not indexed or publicly available, such as password protected website, private social media profiles, and unlisted directories. To use invisible web for data mining and surveillance purpose raise several ethical concerns, including invasion of privacy. Individuals may not be aware that their private information is being accessed and collected, leading to a violation of their privacy rights. Unethical data collection. Data mining techniques can be used to collect and analyze data without the consent of individual or organizations, leading to unethical data practices. Misuse of data. Collected data may be misused for purposes other than those for which it was intended, such as for targeted advertising or surveillance. Bias and discrimination. The use of data mining and surveillance technique may result in bias or discrimination against certain individuals or group based on factors such as race, gender, or religion. Question number 1 C part. How can individuals and organizations use two factor authentication and strong password to enhance the security of their email account? Answer. To enhance the security of email account, individuals and organizations can use two factor authentication and strong password. Two factor authentication requires user to provide two forms of identification such as a password and a verification code sent to their mobile device or email address. This adds an extra layer of security and makes it harder for the hacker to access the account. Strong passwords should be complex and include a combination of upper and lower case, multiple numbers, and special characters. Passwords should also be changed regularly, and individuals should avoid using the same password for multiple accounts. Question number 2A. What are different types of malware and their impact on computer system, and what measures can be taken to prevent malware infections such as using antivirus software and regularly updating the software? Answer 2A. Malware is a malicious software designed to damage or disrupt computer systems. Common types of malware includes virus, worms, Trojan horse, and ransomware. Malware infections can have several consequences such as data loss, integrity theft, and identity theft, and financial loss. To prevent malware infections, individuals and organizations should use antivirus software, keep software and operating system up to date with security patches, and avoid downloading or opening suspicious attachment or links. Question number 2B. How can individuals and organizations train employees to recognize and avoid social engineering techniques such as phishing, pretexting, and baiting, and implement policies and procedures to reduce the risk of unauthorized access to sensitive information? Answer 2B. Social engineering techniques such as phishing, pretexting, baiting are designed to trick individuals into divulging sensitive information or performing unauthorized actions. To reduce the risk of unauthorized access to sensitive information, individuals and organizations can train employees to recognize social engineering techniques and implement policies and procedures to prevent them. Question number two, C part. What are some different methods of securing data such as encryption, tokenization, and access control? And how can organization evaluate which approach best suits their specific need? Answer 2C. Different methods of securing data such as encryption, tokenization, and access control can be used to protect sensitive information. Organizations should evaluate their specific needs to determine which approach best suits their requirement. Encryption is a common method of securing data and involves converting plain text into ciphertext using an encryption algorithm and a secret key. Tokenization involves replacing sensitive data with a token that has no meaning or value, while access control involves limiting the access to sensitive information based on user permission. This may include providing training on how to identify phishing emails, avoid sharing sensitive information online, verifying requests for sensitive information before providing it. Question number 3A. How can individuals and organizations use email filters, web filters, and firewall to identify and block phishing and phishing scams? And what are some best practices for responding to suspected attacks, such as reporting the incident to security teams? Answer 3A. Email filters, web filters, and firewalls can be used to identify and block phishing and phishing scams. Email filters can be set up to block suspicious emails or to send them to a spam folder, while web filter can be prevent from accessing known malicious websites. Firewalls can block unauthorized access to computer systems and networks. Best practices for responding to suspected attacks include reporting incident to security teams, reviewing access logs, and implementing incident response plans. Question number 3B part. What are some most significant milestones in the history of cryptography, such as development of the Caesar cipher and the Enigma machine, and have advances in the technology and computing impacted the evolution of cryptographic systems over time? Answer 3B. Significant milestones in the history of cryptography include the development of Caesar cipher, the Enigma machine, and the RSA algorithm. Advances in technology and computing have impacted the evolution of cryptographic system over time, with modern cryptographic system using complex mathematical algorithm and key exchange protocol to ensure secure communication and data storage. Question number 3C part. What are some key features and limitations of popular cryptographic algorithms such as DES, 3DES, RC4, 2FISH, and DES? And how can organizations select the appropriate algorithm for their use case? Answer 3C. Popular cryptographic algorithms such as DES, 3DES, RC4, 2FISH, and EES have different key size, block size, and encryption mode, which impact their security and performance. Organizations should select their appropriate algorithm for their specific use case based on their security requirements, processing power, and the sensitivity of the data being protected. For factor to consider include the strength and encryption of the ease of the key management and the potential for attacks such as brute force or side channel attacks. Question number 4A part. How do public and private key based crypto systems work, and what are some practical applications of these systems in real world scenarios such as securing message and online transaction? Answer 4A. Public and private key based crypto system work by using a pair of keys, one public and one private, for encryption and decryption. In this system, the public key can be freely distributed while private key is kept secret. When someone wants to send a message to the receiver, they use the receiver's public key to encrypt the message, which can only be decrypted using the receiver's private key. To ensure that the only the intended receiver can receive the can read the message, practical applications of these systems include securing message online transaction and digital signatures. Question number 4B part. What are some design principles such as principle of least privilege, defense in depth, and that organization should follow when developing software and other systems, and how these principles be effectively implemented using tools such as code analysis and penetration testing? Answer 4B. Design principles such as the principle of least privilege and defense in depth help organization to develop secure and software and system. The principle of least privilege says that each system component should have access to the resource it needs to function, while defense in depth means that multiple layers of security control to protect against attacks. These principles can be implemented using tools such as code analysis and penetration testing. Can code analysis help to identify vulnerabilities in code, while penetration testing can simulate attacks to find weakness in the system? Question number 4C. How can organization defend against channel attacks such as timing attack, power analysis attack, and what are some standard methods for defecting and mitigating these type of attacks, such as using masking techniques and implementing hardware level security measures? Answer 4C. Side channel attacks are type of attacks that target weaknesses in systems' physical characteristics such as power consumption or timing. Organizations can defend against these attacks by using masking techniques such as randomizing power consumption or adding noise to the data signal to make it harder for the attackers to extract information. Hardware level security measures such as secure boot and firmware signing can also help protect against side channel attacks. Standard methods for detecting and mitigating these type of threats include monitoring power consumption and performing regular social security audits. Question number 4C or part. What are some key strategies for securing Windows system and implementing effective authentication models such as biometric and multi-factor authentication? Answer 4C B part or part. Securing Windows system involves implementing several measures such as the following: installing regularly security updates, ensure that all security updates are installed prompt to prevent vulnerabilities from being exploited. Configuring firewalls. Use firewalls to block unauthorized access to the systems and limit the network traffic that is allowed in and out. Using antivirus software. Install antivirus software to ensure that it is updated regularly to detect and remove any malicious code. Implementing access controls. Use access control to restrict access to sensitive data and functions to authorized users only. Using strong password. Ensure that users create a strong password that are difficult to guess and change them periodically. Implementing multi-factor authentication. Use multi-factor authentication such as biometric authentication to provide an additional layer of security for user authentication. Conducting regular security audits. Regular access the system for vulnerabilities and implement necessary measures to mitigate them. Question number 5A part. What are standard authentication models are used by organizations such as single sign-on SSO and multi-factor authentication MFA, and how can organizations evaluate which approach best suits their specific needs to, and how can organizations consider which approach is best suited for their particular needs use case? Answer 5A. Standard authentication models such as single sign-on SSO and multi-factor authentication MFA are used by organizations to enhance the security of their system and data. SSO allows user to access multiple applications with a single set of credentials, while MFA requires users to provide additional forms of identification such as fingerprint or one-time password. Organizations can evaluate which approach is best for their specific needs by considering factors such as level of security required, the number of users who will need the authentication, the cost of complexity of implementation. They can also consider the risk of different types of attacks, such as phishing attacks and credentials of stuffing, and choose an authentication model that can mitigate these risks. Question number 5B part. What is trusted computing and how does it differ from traditional security models? How can organizations leverage trusted computing technologies and such as hardware security modules and remote attestation to enhance the security and integrity of their systems and data? Answer 5B. Trusted computing is a security model that focuses on the integrity of the hardware and software components of a system. It differs from traditional security models that rely on software based solutions such as firewall and antivirus software. Organizations can leverage trusted computing technologies such as hardware based security modules and remote attestation to enhance the security and integrity of their system and data. Hardware-based security models provide a secure environment for sensitive data and operations, while remote attestation allows organization to verify the integrity of a system's hardware and software components before allowing access. Question number 5B C part. Explain how virus works. Explain any 10 viruses. Answer 5C. A computer virus is a type of malware that spreads by infecting executable files or documents. Once a virus infects a system, it can perform various malicious actions such as stealing personal data or damaging files. Here are 10 examples of viruses. Virus and its description. I love you. A virus that spreads via email in 2000 causing damage to millions of computers. WannaCry. A ransomware virus that affected hundreds of thousands of computers in 2017. Melissa. A virus that spread via email in 1999 and caused millions of dollars in damages. Code Red, a worm that infected several running Microsoft IIS in 2001, causing widespread outrages. My Doom, a worm that spread via email in 2004, creating a backdoor that allowed attackers to control infected systems. Zcells, a Trojan that stole banking credentials and other sensitive information from infected systems. Conflicker, a worm that exploited a vulnerability in Windows system and created a botnet with millions of infected computers. Stuxnet, a worm that targeted industrial control systems, causing physical damage to centrifuges used in Iran's nuclear program. CryptoLocker, a ransomware virus that encrypted users' files and demanded payment in exchange for the decryption key. Miral, a botnet composed of infected Internet of Things devices that used in massive distribution denial of services DDoS attack in 2016. Thank you.